What if every decision you've ever made created a new version of reality? Imagine a world where your wildest dreams and your deepest fears are both real, just in a different dimension. Prepare to have your mind blown as we dive into the fascinating, mind-bending concept of parallel dimensions and the multiverse. Have you ever had that feeling of déjà vu? That strange, fleeting sensation that you've lived this exact moment before? Or maybe you've made a choice and wondered, what if I had done the opposite? What if you'd taken that other job, or said yes to that date, or never moved to this city? According to some of the most mind-bending theories in physics, every one of those possibilities might actually exist, not just in your imagination, but in a real, tangible, parallel universe. Today, we're journeying to the very edge of science and philosophy to explore the multiverse. Are there other versions of you out there living different lives? Let's find out. To really get our heads around this, we need to start with the theory that opened the door to it all: quantum mechanics. Now, don't worry, we won't get bogged down in complex equations. Think of it like this: at the tiniest subatomic level, the universe is a weird and wonderful place. Particles like electrons don't just exist in one spot at a time. Instead, they exist in a cloud of possibilities. A state called superposition. It's only when we observe them, or measure them, that they choose a single state. It's like a spinning coin. While it's in the air, it's both heads and tails at once. It only becomes one or the other when it lands and we look at it. This is where it gets really wild. In the 1950s, a physicist named Hugh Everett III came up with a radical idea. He asked, what if the particle doesn't choose at all? What if, at the moment of observation, reality itself splits in two? In one universe, the coin lands on heads. In another, completely separate universe, it lands on tails. Both outcomes happen. Every quantum event, every tiny decision point, causes the universe to branch off, creating an ever-expanding tree of parallel realities. This is the many worlds interpretation. According to this theory, there's a universe where you aced that exam you failed, another where you became a rock star, and countless others where tiny, insignificant choices led to vastly different lives. It's a staggering thought. There isn't just one you, there are infinite versions of you, each living out a different possibility. But many worlds isn't the only game in town. Other theories also point to the existence of a multiverse, arriving from completely different angles. Let's look at string theory. This is one of the leading candidates for a theory of everything, aiming to unite the massive world of gravity with the tiny world of quantum mechanics. String theory suggests that the fundamental building blocks of reality aren't point-like particles, but tiny, vibrating, one-dimensional strings. The way a string vibrates determines what kind of particle it is. But here's the kicker. For the math of string theory to work, it requires more than the 3 spatial dimensions we experience plus time. It needs at least 10 or 11 dimensions. So where are these other dimensions? The idea is that they are curled up, incredibly small, at every point in space, so we can't perceive them. Now, imagine our entire universe is a 3-dimensional membrane, or brain for short. String theory allows for the existence of many such brains, all floating around in a higher dimensional space, like slices of bread in a loaf. These other brains could be other universes, each with potentially different physical laws. Some might be similar to ours, others could be so alien we can't even imagine them. Occasionally, these brain universes might even collide, an event that some physicists speculate could create a Big Bang, starting a new universe from scratch. Then there's the idea of the eternal inflation multiverse. We know our universe began with the Big Bang, and then went through a period of incredibly rapid expansion called cosmic inflation. The eternal inflation theory suggests that this inflation never completely stopped. While it stopped in our pocket of space, allowing our universe to form, it continues in other regions, constantly spawning new bubble universes. Think of it like a giant block of Swiss cheese. The cheese is the inflating space, and the holes are the individual universes, like ours, where inflation has stopped. Each bubble could have different fundamental constants of nature. In one, gravity might be stronger. In another, the speed of light could be different. Most of these universes would be sterile, unable to support life as we know it, but with an infinite number of bubbles, it's statistically inevitable that some, like ours, would have the perfect conditions for stars, planets, and eventually, life. This leads to a philosophical point called the anthropic principle. It asks, Why are the laws of physics in our universe so finely tuned for life? If you change the strength of gravity or the charge of an electron by even a tiny fraction, stars couldn't form, and we wouldn't be here. Is it just a lucky coincidence? Or is it because we live in a multiverse? If there are countless universes, each with random laws, it's not surprising that we find ourselves in one of the few that can support us. We couldn't observe it from anywhere else. It's like asking why we find ourselves on Earth, a planet with water and oxygen. It's because we evolved to need those things. We are here because this is one of the places where we could be. So, we have these fascinating theories, but is there any actual evidence? Can we prove the multiverse exists? This is the biggest challenge. By their very definition, these other universes are separate from our own. How could we ever hope to detect them? Well, scientists are clever, and they've come up with a few potential, though highly speculative, ways. One idea is to look for bruises in the cosmic microwave background radiation, the leftover heat from the Big Bang. If our universe ever collided with another bubble universe in the distant past, it might have left a subtle circular pattern or a cold spot in this background radiation. In fact, some scientists have claimed to find such spots, though the data is far from conclusive and could be explained by other means. Another long-shot possibility is through gravity. While other forces are confined to their own brain universe, some theories suggest gravity might be able to leak between dimensions. If we could detect gravitational anomalies that can't be explained by the matter in our own universe, it could be a sign of the gravitational pull from a nearby parallel universe. This is what experiments at places like the Large Hadron Collider are indirectly testing. By smashing particles together at incredible energies, they hope to see if any energy disappears from our universe, possibly escaping into another dimension. So far, no luck, but the search continues. The concept of the multiverse isn't just for physicists. It's a playground for the imagination and has profound implications for how we see ourselves and our place in the cosmos. If every choice you make creates a new reality, does that make your choices more or less meaningful? On one hand, you could argue they're less meaningful because every possible outcome happens somewhere. If you fail, another you succeeds. But on the other hand, you could see it as incredibly empowering. The version of you in this asterisk universe is the only one you can control. Your choices define this asterisk reality. It makes the life you are living right now uniquely and profoundly your own. This idea also redefines our concept of what's possible. It suggests that reality is far bigger, stranger, and more magnificent than we could ever imagine. Our entire observable universe, with its billions of galaxies, might just be a single grain of sand on an infinite cosmic beach. It's a humbling perspective, but also an exciting one. It means the story of reality is endless, with infinite variations and infinite possibilities unfolding across countless worlds. So, the next time you're faced with a tough decision, or you wonder what if, take a moment to consider the possibility. Perhaps, in another dimension, another you is making the opposite choice. You are the protagonist of this particular story, this unique branch of reality. While we may never be able to visit these other worlds, the mere possibility that they exist stretches the boundaries of our understanding and invites us to look at our own universe with a renewed sense of wonder and awe. The quest to understand the multiverse is really a quest to understand the ultimate nature of reality itself. And that is one of the greatest adventures we can embark on. Thanks so much for joining me on this mind-bending journey today. If you enjoyed exploring the edges of science with us, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the biggest questions in the universe. Let me know in the comments which multiverse theory you find most fascinating. Until next time, keep looking up.